Well, it's Saturday and it's the first day of October 22. So the 10 month is a good one for, well, 1 and 9 is 10, so it's a good one for the numerology. But anyway, I'm up in Amalree, as you can see probably from the camera, but at a slightly different angle because there's a stall set up behind, and unfortunately the rain's just come on. Well, it always comes on in Amalree, doesn't it? And I'm a bit late to go. It's after 1 o'clock. Yeah. And I'd been up, well, I come up to support their coffee, well, cake and candy, and not cake and candy, Andrew. Soup, tea, cake. And there's also a jumble sale of some sorts in there. So I managed to get a couple of things. I got a vintage clock and timer for my kitchen. And a couple of other things, I'll not mention them, but I also bought some cake, because this is homemade cake. Lemon drizzle and walnut and date. So I've had soup, and I've got a cup of tea. What was the last time I'd done this? That was the day I went to Kenmore, so that's 4 weeks ago, exactly. So it's well turned out today. I feel like a wee bit of well-kent face. Everybody's coming over to talk to me and chatting away and stuff, and it's quite nice. I've said to them there's some lovely flowers on the arrangement on the tables. I said, rather than discard them, can I pick them up when you're closing up, and I'll take them down the graveside tomorrow, because I always go down the first Sunday of the month. So they said that'd be fine, so I'll make a wee donation for that. And beautiful flowers and nice pink heather. I don't know where they got the heather from, because most of the heather here is gone back. Well, maybe when you're closer up to it, there's still some there. But anyway, I've just spooked the hell out of some woman. She did say that to me. She says, "Oh, you're starting to spook me out." And I says, "Well, that was not my intention. In fact, I probably said a little too much." But I was talking about that woman. I met this woman was coming over talking to me about, oh, that's my sister-in-law, and I'm such and such to such and such, and we're chatting away, and I said, well, I know her, and oh, is that her name? Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. So I said, incidentally, can I ask you, have you any idea who this woman is? And I tried to describe her, and I haven't a clue. And I says, can I give you her name? First name she gave me. And as soon as I told them the first name, I'm not going to give it on camera, because I feel like it's a private intrusion on that lady's confidentiality. So I'm not going to give it, but it's the weirdest name for anyone. But I did ask them if they knew anyone called such and such in this area, and they both shook their heads at once. I think they looked at me as if I was mad. But I said to this is very genuine, and then I said, look, on that night I explained some background to it. I didn't give them all, but I said to her, I says, your sister-in-law, who you've told me about, is the one that came out of the hall when I was talking to this lady who was facing me and was facing over to the mountains. So her back was to the door. And I don't know if I mentioned it, but she said to me, the woman with grey hair, who's just, is she coming out or is she going in? That's what she said. That's exactly what she said. The woman with the grey hair, is she coming out or is she going in? And that was the bit that really thing with me, because she hadn't looked round. She was no way that she could see that. And I'm not lying. I swear that happened. I swear to God. And then the other thing I was going to say to you was regarding the owls. So I mentioned the owls and thought, well, that's a bit tricky in this area, because I think they do actually exterminate a lot of the birds of prey to safeguard their pheasant and grouse stocks. But anyway, I mentioned about this owls business, and I told them when I went down the road there was 4 barn owls between here and the bottom of the glen came into my headlights, and there was at least 6 owls. I think that's what finally spooked that woman. I said there was 4 owls, 4 barn owls and 2 tawny owls in my garden when I went out for my last cigarette before retiring to my bed on the 12th of September. So I did apologise to them. I said, sorry, I only wanted to see if you knew this woman, and I've kind of got carried away as I normally do in conversation. So I will have to go back in and say, I won't. I could see in that woman's face, she was starting to go, what the fuck? I better be careful who I tell this story to, because I'm actually telling the whole world. I'll put it on YouTube, I'm not. But it's just too bizarre. It's too incredible for anyone to believe. But I was there. Exactly what happened. I think I'm sure I'll search through my footage. I'm sure I took some footage in the days after the event. I'm sure I kind of gave a route through the heather where I'd met her, where I'd gone for a piss. I did tell them people, I said I went to use the loo in the heather because I didn't want to disturb the meeting. And this woman, I said to her, are you going into the meeting? She says, no. And another thing she told me, I just remember that now, if I haven't said it already. She asked me, can these people see me? And then she said, I don't know. She said to, can you, no, well, I get this absolutely right, because it's got to be as clear as anything. I'm not making it up, but I just want to make sure I'm getting what was said absolutely 100%. She said to me, when I said you're going into the meeting, she said, I'm not going into the meeting. I don't want these people to see me. And then she said to me, can you see me? Like, not can you see, can you see me? I said, of course I can see you. She said, well, I don't want these people to see me. So that was very odd. I compiled an email to send to people, family members who were inquisitive when I've made a quick remark on answering one of their emails, and so they came back and said, oh, please tell us more. So I kind of put in as much fresh information as I did that night, but more of it was actually on, well, a lot of it was on camera, of course, but anyway, am I talking too much here? I'm going to, I've got a cup of tea. That's what I got. It's the only place I really drink tea is at Amalry. I said that to the lady. So I'm going out for a cup of tea and a cigarette, so I'll come back in a minute. I'm just reminding myself about the time that Up and Down came from. Was it Paraguay she was in? Yeah, she was in Ascension in Paraguay, and she contacted me to meet her in Greece. I'm going to tell that story in a moment. So that's, I've gone back in to collect I've made a wee donation for them. They said to stop giving them donations, but I don't know, they're trying to get money for their funds for extension and to make a bigger kitchen and toilet and stuff, so it doesn't bother me. Anyway, look at this beautiful bunch. I'll take down my mum and dad's and my granny's tomorrow. They're really bonny. Look at the lovely heather. I think these are my, what do you call them, miniature asters. I've got asters in my garden. Pink and purple asters, so that's what they are. I'm not sure what the pink is. That's like a fuchsia, isn't it? That pink one there. But anyway, I'm quite chuffed. Got that in my cake. So I've enjoyed my wee jaunt up here, chatting to people. I was speaking to the man whose wife had spooked out regarding that old woman. And I was speaking to somebody else, and they were asking some questions about something, and I asked her as well, do you know this woman? And no, not. I mean, this is a small community. There's hardly anyone lives up here, and you've got Trochy or Trochray, but Trochray. There's nobody lives in the Garran anymore. You've got some houses in Almoree, where most of them live, and then you've got some isolated properties along throughout Glen Crieff up to Garrow, and most of them people from this surrounding area come to support them, and nobody seems to know who the hell this woman is. So there is definite mystery, and my intuition is fairly spot on at normal times, and I just find there's something quite bizarre about this woman, you know. And if you're wondering why my camera angle's changed, because I've probably chopped this around, I've moved my car to bring me back to much more familiar visuals from where I was situated earlier on, and I've done a little chat about her being up and down when she came over from Paraguay to Greece, and then we went to Turkey together. Well, I was in Turkey, but she joined me because I didn't want to go to Greece. No. I went to Kos, which I suppose that's Greece, but that's where we met, but I wasn't going to Athens. To hell with that. So I think that probably looking at this view, perhaps the next time I pick up the camera, it might be a return view, because it's October and it's time for the mountains. It'll take me 12 weeks to get to, well, it'll take 6 weeks to get myself into the kind of shape that I was in back in March, April time. And it'll take another 6 weeks to get what they call winter fit for the mountains. You need to be extremely fit to be in the mountains in the winter time. And then that period from Christmas until the spring equinox, that's the toughest part of all. It's it can be a long winter in Scotland. People don't really notice it quite so much nowadays because we get much less snowfalls, as you know, over the last 30 years. But certainly if you're in the high elevation, there's winter still occurs as it's always done. I'm going to try and let you see just how in the coming months, if I'm still vlogging, I'm going to try and let you see just how bad it can be on these summits. It's difficult because you can't speak on the camera up at height because it's distorted with the wind, and and doing voiceovers never seem to work out the same. But I'll work something out. But I want to let people see just the extent of what it's like to be caught in a mountain blizzard. Here's the clock I bought. It's got a timer on it. So instead of me wasting electricity, I'll just put a timer on. When I'm busy at the computer, let me know that this cost a liquid. If it doesn't work, then I'll just use it for its aesthetic value on the kitchen wall beside my barometer and another clock. I put the clock time to 10 to 2 because that's the way it is.